any card. Robert Whittaker taking on Dricus du Plessis. Whew. We have Australia. We have South Africa. Let's go. Bobby Knuckles, the Reaper, beat 32-year-old out of South Wales, Sydney, Australia. 24-6 as a pro. 9 knockouts, 5 submissions added to that. Coming off of a very nice UD over Marvin Vittori back in September of last year. He will be taking on the rising South African Dricus du Plessis out of Pretoria, South Africa. 19-2 as a pro. Damn, what a record. 18 knockouts, 10 subs, only one of his wins going the distance. The man is a finisher. He's a bruiser at middleweight. Most recently finishing Derek Brunson in the second round. Omar, start us off this time. Give us your take and your pick of du Plessis versus Whittaker.
I mean, I'm so interested to see what the line is, to be honest, because Whittaker is that dude at middleweight. If there is no Izzy, Robert Whittaker is your champion. Robert Whittaker hasn't lost to anybody since, other than Izzy, I should say, since 2014. Wonderboy Thompson was the last person to beat him, and that was in a completely different division he shouldn't have even been in. And once he got to 185, he's been murking motherfuckers ever since, and Izzy is the only person who's been standing in his way. I don't think that changes here. Yeah, go for it.
So, yeah, the bookies are giving the appropriate respect to Robert Whittaker. He and the bettors, I guess. Who knows what it opened at. But Robert Whittaker is minus 380. Dricus is plus 290.
No, that's about right. It's a tough task because when you really sit back and you think about exactly where Dricus is gonna have areas of success, I don't think anybody will die on that sword. I really don't. I like Dricus's biggest attribute, in my opinion, is his ground game and his wrestling. And I think he gets not one off on Robert Whittaker, for being honest. I would be wholly surprised if he gets a single takedown on Robert Whittaker. And I think everywhere in between there, Robert Whittaker pieces up Dricus du Plessis with the hands, with the feet, with the explosions. We're going to see Robert Whittaker bouncing. We're going to see Dricus trying to get some kind of stability in that square off. And Robert Whittaker is going to close distance and he's going to crack him. And that is going to be the entire story for that fight. And I think every time a takedown is had or attempted, Robert Whittaker is going to be able to stuff them, and he's going to make Dricus pay. And I think the longer that goes on, we're going to see Dricus begin to crumble. I give Dricus credit as far as his toughness. I don't think he's going to get finished. I don't think he's going to give up in that fight, no matter how much damage he has, unless he gets put out. So I will give the decision out of respect to Dricus, but I think Robert Whittaker takes that one home, and it's all 5 rounds for Robert Whittaker. 50-45.
Mark?
Wait. Is this 3 fucking rounds?
3 fucking rounds, yeah.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, that sucks.
All right. 30-27, though.
Right? I mean, it's certainly 3 rounds, right? It's got to be.
It does not have to be. It could absolutely be 5 rounds, the bastards.
No, but I'm saying we would have heard about it if it was 5.
No, yeah, I know. Yeah,
yet another example of my point that fights involving a top 5 fighter should be 5 rounds. Yep, 3 rounds. Yeah, so as you heard, almost 4-1 favorite for Whittaker. 1 inch of height and 2.5 inches of reach on the Dricus side of things, so he is a bit bigger. He's also the larger man frame-wise. So, yeah, would it be fun here if Dricus showed out and he beat Robert Whittaker and set up an enormous fight with Israel Adesanya? It sure fucking would. Am I going to pick Robert Whittaker to lose a fight? I certainly am not. The dude is so good. He continually shows it against every single opponent aside from Izzy. I mean, he even showed it against Izzy in the second fight, if we're being honest. He looked pretty good in that fight.
Yeah.
We've said before that he's beaten a bunch of these guys better than Izzy has beaten them. I mean, he's unreal. And I just don't see what Dricus du Plessis has that's going to allow him to overcome the gulf of technique that lies between him and Robert Whittaker. And I don't want to knock Dricus. He has been great. He's been very impressive in the way he's gone through these fights. He absorbs damage. He's strong as hell. He does not stop coming forward. He carries a lot of natural power. He's an imposing wrestler, but not against Robert Whittaker. Whittaker's just not going to allow himself to be taken down outside of maybe a random one at some point in time. He is going to be better on the feet, plain and simple. He will be a step ahead. He'll be making Dricus miss. Dricus's punches will be, finishing an inch or two away from Whittaker's face as Whittaker darts to the outside. He is going to land to the head of Dricus. He'll mix up his shots. I mean, think about the way that Till was landing against Dricus when he was able to ever stay on his friggin' feet.
In
If
that
Till
one
can
round.
do that, Whittaker can certainly do that. And he's not going to fall apart under the pressure of Dricus either, the way other guys have. That's what Dricus does to people. He's so composed, and he just keeps coming through the damage, and guys crumble. Robert Whittaker is not going to crumble. He will be there for all 15 minutes if he needs to be. So I will go with Robert Whittaker UD as well. I will just add one thing that I just thought of as I was going through this that I don't know if you guys have watched Countdown. They gave the stats on Dricus du Plessis' nose. Remember we've talked about this before, how he has said the reason it always looks like he's like huffing and puffing in there is because he has a lot of trouble breathing through his nose and he needs to get it operated on. We talked about this after his last fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he finally did get the operation. And they said that the stats pre-operation were that one of his nostrils was getting 0% oxygen. So basically a useless nostril. And the other was getting 8% oxygen.
What?
So 8 out of a possible 200%. So 4% oxygen was going through this man's nose through his UFC career thus far. So, and now supposedly it's 100%. So will we see superhuman Dricus now that he can breathe through his nose? I don't know. I did think that was mind-blowing to hear that he was getting 4% oxygen through his fucking nose. But the pick is Robert Whittaker, UD. Just felt like I had to share that because it's pretty crazy.
We are unanimous, taking him by UD. Unanimous by unanimous. I mean, I like seeing the fresh blood climbing up middleweight with du Plessis. But that being said, I think Whittaker he's so talented, as he's shown over the years, and I think he's going to be better everywhere. The only edge I give du Plessis is in brute strength and power. What did we say about his last couple of fights? That like du Plessis is like he has the best worst gas. He has the best worst cardio. Like he always fights like he's gassed, but he just has this will about him.
Well, that's what I mean. I wonder if it's going to look the same now that he can actually breathe.
Like, will his mouth actually be closed in this fight?
Yeah, and he won't.
Is it possible?
So,
Maybe he'll be breathing through his nose a little bit more. But du Plessis always comes in shape. He always comes correct with the great cardio, with a tremendous will and competitiveness. Great power for the division. But I'm not picking against Bobby Knuckles, man. Like he said, I think after he fought, was it a Vittori or Cannonier? He's like, I make people hate fighting.
Vittori, yep.
He's such a great kickboxer, and he's so proficient everywhere. Got to see he's getting his hand raised in this one, so I'm going to go as well. Whittaker by unanimous decision.